What's new, fathead?
Hi guys, Doc Owen here with Action Figure Times. I've had a lot of questions about the DC subscriptions. I post some things on the boards about it. I've even had dear friends contact me about it, and I really just wanted to share with you, and maybe this could help you. Now, this is just my 2 cents, and to be honest with you, I can't promise that it's even going to be worth that, but I can tell you my perspective. First off, I'm not a great test case because I buy just about everything I can that's DC Universe. As you can see, most everything that I have behind me is DC Universe based. So for me, it was a no-brainer. To me, it was never about Mattel at all. It was all about, did they have the toys that I wanted? That was it. Now, I know a lot of you have concern because Mattel's done some things that might not have been the best, but I'll tell you some other things that went into my decision making. Okay? First off, if you figure that, I think if we start in April next year, we'll have 9 figures next year. Of those 9 figures, we already knew who 4 of them could potentially be. 3 definites: Jay Garrick, Starman, and Atrocitus. Now we're getting the chance to vote. Well, now we know that there's also Poison Ivy, so we know 4 of the 9 definitively, right? Now, of the large figures, of the 3 that are going to come out next year, we are getting to vote on at least 1 of them. There's the Black Lantern Swamp Thing, which I think, I mean, that might as well just take that out of the running for me. Shaggy Man wouldn't be so bad. I think it'd be kind of cool to have him as the general. The with Metron in the chair, that'd be kind of cool. Rocket Red, though, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Now, we basically know who 5 of these figures are going to be. And speaking of that, on this voting thing, and this is just me, and you all will forgive me, but I don't think everybody should have been allowed to vote. I think the only people that should have been allowed to vote were those of us that were purchasing subscriptions, because there might be 1,000 people out there that want a Black Lantern Swamp Thing that are never going to pay for a subscription, but they just think it'd be cool. But I think those of us who pony up the cash, we ought to be the only ones allowed to vote. But that's just me, okay? I think everybody's entitled to an opinion on the general line, but when you're talking about a subscription line, but we'll get back into that later. Now here's the thing. We've got basically 5 of the figures that we know of. That puts us in a better position, as I recall, than the Masters of the Universe figures. Now, I didn't pay a whole lot of time, and so I'm speaking a bit out of school, but I remember when they first came out, I don't remember them giving them a whole lot of information as far as who the figures were going to be. But I will say this, after, I think this is the 3rd year they're going to be doing it, after 3 years, I haven't met a single person yet that's dissatisfied with their Masters of the Universe subscription. Not only that, I think it's a great subscription, and I don't even like those figures. I mean, some of them, I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping to pick up because they've got some cool stuff coming out. But so far, we've got the Battle Cat, we've got the Panther. Now, did you see that Wind Raider that they I think that's the name of it, that they debuted at San Diego Comic-Con? They're actually getting vehicles in their subscription. See, to me, this is where they would want to take the DC Universe subscription. Now, I know a lot of people are concerned about who they're not going to get. Here's something I've noticed. A while back, I reviewed, or I didn't review, but I brought news of I think it was the Slime Blower Winston. And I said he looked really, really good. Now, I got slammed a lot because I found out he did not, and rightfully so, I spoke in ignorance. I said that he looked good, he looked like in the movie, but he didn't. Those people that were out there, the Ghostbusters subscribers, noticed that he didn't have all the right stuff. They cared about the line, they voiced their disapproval, and you know what? They changed it. They've added accessories in the Masters of the Universe line. From what I understand, it's the same thing. There's been figures they wanted that they got. There's been stuff that they didn't want that they were able to lay aside. They've had paint. There was even some big thing with the Manny faces and the colors and all of that stuff. Mattel has shown in their track record to listen to the people in the Ghostbusters Club, in the Masters of the Universe Club. Why do we think they would not listen to us in this? But even if they didn't, really, they've shown some great picks so far. And for me, again, this isn't about Mattel. This is about, do they have the toys that I want? Right here, I bought from one of probably the best customizers I've ever seen. I bought a Val Armour, a Karate Kid from the Legion of Superheroes, because he's one of my favorite characters. He did an absolutely awesome job. People have been complaining about the cost of the figure plus the shipping. Honestly, I think the shipping is outrageous. But the truth of the matter is for that custom, I paid far more than what I'm going to pay for the shipping and for the officially licensed figure. Now, for me, this is just like I'm buying customs, right? I'm getting a high quality custom officially licensed figure, but I'm getting it for a discount price. That's another way that I look at it. Now, I know that some people have said that, you know, there's kind of that Mattel seemed like it's bullying people and trying to scare people. That's entirely possible. But I also think that sometimes people take it as threatening. I'm in a business where people sometimes take when you're very, very upfront as a threat. And sometimes when people say, hey, if we don't have this, we're not going to be able to do it. You know, that could be a scare tactic, but it could also be them just saying, this is where we're at. Now, people have also brought up, well, they didn't do it for Voltron, and they didn't do it for Master of the Universe. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I would highly suspect that the reason that they were able to do it for Masters of the Universe was they didn't have a licensing fee. They're not going to have that much invested into this. Voltron, I mean, I know people like it and stuff. I don't know anything about Voltron, to be honest. I've probably seen some of the shows maybe once or twice. That new toy they put out is one of the most remarkable toys as far as posability and stuff. But the truth of the matter is Voltron's not DC money. They're not having to fork over the money that they're having for DC to buy DC stuff. Now, to pay DC license fees. But again, this to me comes back to, do I want these toys? I don't care how Mattel's done me. If they're going to give me Poison Ivy, Jake Garrick, Starman, I mean, he's kind of a new guy. He's kind of cool, but I could live without him. I didn't grow up with him. If they're going to give me one of those figures, if they're going to give me a Rocket Red or a Metron and a chair, I'm good with that. The question you have to ask yourself is do you love these toys? I do. And so, and the next question you have to ask yourself is, do you have the money? If you don't have the money, don't spend it. But for me, this is all about the toys. Now, one thing I do want to bring up, and this isn't, I'm not trying to slam anybody or anything, but some of you have been pretty harsh on Danielle, Fangirl 2.0, over her corporate speak, over her not necessarily, in your opinion, not necessarily knowing anything about toys. Listen. First off, getting to know her, she's actually a great person. Maybe she doesn't say everything the way we like to hear it, but one of the things I've always enjoyed about the toy community was this. When somebody new came in, unless you were just a knucklehead, you tried to help other people in the hobby. You tried to help them with the lingo. You tried to help them find figures. I mean, how often have we posted, hey, where did this come from? Where could I find this? And our brothers and sister collectors have stepped up to the plate to help us, have helped us learn our hobby. Why are we criticizing this girl? People say, well, she ought to know she's in the business. Yeah, but she's only been in the business a year. Why, instead of criticizing her, why don't we help her? And why don't we see what we can do to help her? Because even though I don't necessarily like all of Mattel's policies, I don't think we ought to get into personal attacks with people, especially people that are really trying very, very hard. Now, you in the subscription, make your choice. For me, I love the toys. I don't care whether it was Mattel, Hasbro, I don't care whether it was Funko, I don't care whether it was Hyundai or Kia. If they're making something that's DC, and it's going to be fit into my line of toys, I'm going to get it if I have the money. So let's forget about Mattel and just ask ourselves, are we going to keep doing the thing we love, which is collecting toys? That's my take on it. I personally believe they're going to do right by us with the subscription simply because of their track record with subscriptions. I think we might end up getting vehicles. One other thing, and I'll just throw this in, and I know I've gone a little long, but after talking with people that are personally involved in this subscription process on the Mattel side, these guys don't want to ship you another Superman. They really want to do the tooling. They want to come up with the cool stuff. They're excited about what they can bring in weapons packs and things like that. They're not looking to get by. They're looking to, as fans themselves, to bring us something really cool that they cannot give us in the mass market retail. I'm going to give them the benefit of belief. I've bought 2 subscriptions. I bought two because really I don't need two. I only need one because, to be honest with you, I open everything that I get. The second subscription I bought in case somebody out there, if that was the teetering point, that it would put us over the edge, because I do believe in the toys. Well, this is Doc Owen with Action Figure Times. You can take this. This is my 2 cents, worth probably even less, like I said, but just figured I'd give you my take. Thanks for tuning in.